order the Holy Knight.
Appreciate it. Go on.
How dare you speak so dismissively! Listen carefully. Their goddess received head pats 7 times. She was praised with 7 separate pats within a single day.
Sentenced to be a Hero, episode number 5. My friends, once these words leave my lips, I promise you it's not meant to be this way. What I'm gonna say is gonna be a little controversial. The goal is to never be controversial in my opinion. It's simply to just say my opinion, and sometimes that may in fact be perceived as controversial, or it could be perceived as negative. That's never the intention. I never want to be negative about a show. I go in trying to see the best and trying to hope that there's a good product put in front of me that I got to enjoy. With that being said, I think that outside of a couple of key factors, Sentenced to be a Hero episode 5 was boring. Now, I'm not saying it's unwatchable. I'm not saying that you found it boring. Just to me, in my personal taste, I couldn't wait for this episode to be over. Now, the things that weren't bad, or the things that were decent about the episode. Kivia and Xylo getting closer to each other. Tortilla being jealous about them being closer. Seeing Kivia blush at Xylo. Extremely cute. Weird, you know, it's a we might die kind of scenario, but I get it. Love sprouts were love sprouts. That I thought was pretty cute. The people that Xylo had saved prior from the villages, they came back here once again to provide additional manpower. Xylo tried to dissuade them, but His Majesty, Mr. Pegleg now, was like, my soldiers. And his whole speech I thought was pretty fun. Again, I don't think it was riveting. I think it was pretty fun. To be clear, as I'm saying the words to this, it's gonna sound like, oh, well, what was the problem? It's just, it just wasn't, I don't know. There's a lot that happened in this episode, but nothing excited me. Like nothing was like, oh my God, or like I'm so locked in. It was just like, yep. Going through the new guy, Sav, something like that. Sav, I think is his name is the guy with the missing tooth, and he's like the rifle guy. You know, he basically just likes killing people essentially. We went through his backstory a little bit and how he got caught up. Basically, he was just murdering everyone left, right, front, and center. He was just murdering spree. He was just a killer. He's a serial killer. A question that I have for you, and that I have for this show, is they keep referring to the hero's sentence as worse than death. Right? In his scenario, he was being interrogated, and you know they're like, oh well, you could be executed. You don't seem that that worked up about it. He's like, oh, what happens happens. Just gonna enjoy the moment for now, and if that happens, it happens. Cool mentality. Totally get it. But then the guy's like, well, actually, you'll never die. I have a sentence worse than death. You're gonna be sentenced to be a hero. And he's like, no. And I'm just trying to understand. In theory, I understand it, right? It's worse than death. But is it? They're still alive. They can be reincarnated. Obviously, the Tatsuya guy is a bad example of this because he's been reincarnated so many times that he's out there. He's like a Fetty streetwalker now. He's out there. So I get it, right? But essentially the sentence is just to be the lapdog of the empire. You just simply become a tool. But you're still alive. And most of these guys, right? You have Venetim, you have Xylo, you have His Majesty, Tatsu even. Most of them have some pretty hardcore, decent, crazy skills. And it seems that they've been able to survive a lot of battles. So yes, it seems like a forever sentence. But it seems better than execution or jail for life, essentially. Because they're basically just a soldier who can say no to orders, essentially. And if you know soldiers, in most of these depictions, not all, but in most of these depictions, most soldiers can't say no anyway. Prime example is who's next to Xylo here in this specific mission. Kivia is. She's not a hero. Her men aren't a hero. And obviously when I say men, there's men and women soldiers. I just, that's typically what you say, like, oh, the men. But her men aren't heroes. But they're basically sentenced to the same thing Xylo is, to just be kind of fodder and kind of hold the line. They're basically there, but expected to not make it. They're expected to die. So that just kind of proves my point. So anyways, I was just really thinking about that as I was watching the episode. Outside of that, the demon lords, demons on horseback come in and they start attacking at the end of the episode. We're going to see what ends up happening from this fight. We're going to see next episode as everything gets charged up. But really, that's kind of the main crux of the episode, was some strategy. Xylo being supported, what's his name? Venedum gave him a letter from, I guess, another kingdom or another count or emperor or somebody important. A family was important. They're going to offer soldiers, but Xylo felt really a certain way about it, which I guess we can explore that later. That was interesting. We got to see the slaves, basically the people on death row. They had a scenario. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I think the cutest moment, again, was just Xylo and Kivia spending time together and seeing Tortilla get really jealous about that. And what she's really jealous about is her lack of head pads. So that's a big thing for her. Oh, and we got to see the 9th goddess as well. When they got to the base, or it's a base, I guess, essentially. We got to see them meeting the 9th goddess, which is assigned to one of the other soldiers or higher ranking dudes as well. For me, I think this episode was a 6 out of 10. I think it was fine. Contextually, 8 out of 10. A lot of stuff happened. There was a lot of gap fillers. But, the reality is, like, did I really enjoy it? And it was... I don't think so. Like, I don't like typically when I'm really enjoying a show, I'm just like, oh, I didn't want it to end. I wanted to watch more. My day was made better because I watched this. I feel in a better mood. It didn't have any of those effects on me. Really, I was just like, oh, thank God it's over. All right. On to the next show I gotta watch. Kind of thing. So, those are my thoughts, my friends. Tear me apart in the comments. Give me a like or dislike. I'll see you guys next week. I have faith the show will get better. One meh, okay, bad, okay, boring episode doesn't dictate the whole show. It just kind of says like, hey, this was what it was. All right, see you guys then.